The build show today, I'm in Boston and I saw something that got me really excited. This is a shower pan that I think legitimately will have a 100-year plus life. Today's build show, all the details. Let's get going. All right, y'all, let me show you what we're looking at. First off, this is a Howell Custom Builders project. I'm outside of Boston. Brian gave me the full 411 on this. This is wild. Copper pan that he has pre-made at a local fabrication shop. I'm not exactly sure the gauge on this copper, but it feels like it's maybe 20 gauge. Very, very thick copper. It's made in the shop, so you can see it's got a soldered seam here. Some of the seams are folded. So it's folded and then soldered where needed. Custom made for this exact size of this master shower layout. And now here's where things get interesting. Where the drain comes in, the plumber has a PVC drain system below, but this fitting right here is brass. And see how there's holes on that? Let me see if I can shine my flashlight on it to make it a little more obvious. See the holes that are in here in this drain? There's a reason for that. What's gonna happen is they're gonna screw on with this threaded fitting here a tall drain body that will actually have square, round, whatever you want, that will stick up by a couple inches. And then they're gonna bring a trade in that will put a mortar bed down, a sloped mortar bed. So where the drain is, that mortar bed will probably be like 1.5 inches thick, let's say. And the mortar is gonna be sloping out on the sides, and it'll be probably like 2.25 thick at the edge here. So it'll have about 1/4 inch per foot slope. Now, below that mortar bed, though, if any water got through, we need a place for that water to weep into the drain. So that's what the holes here are doing for us. They're giving us a weep spot to have that water weep through, if you can see that. A little hard to tell, but it's just a real small weep spot in there. So now, after the mortar gets installed in that sloped fashion, then Brian is gonna do a waterproofing later on top of that mortar. I don't like a mortar bed getting wet. And so he's gonna put 2 layers, or actually 3 layers of either Red Guard or Hydroban. That's like a liquid waterproofing that we use a lot in the construction world. And then see how it's flapped up by a couple inches? This is so he can put cement board on top. Like a hardy backer will go on here. And they'll make sure not to nail in the bottom section of that hardy backer. They'll nail it in here. The hardy backer goes on, and then that will also get 2 or 3 layers of Hydroban or some other type of liquid waterproofing. And then at the front lip here, where this is, see how this is kind of flapped right here? They're gonna make a concrete curb. They'll put a form board, they'll set a form board on here. They'll actually pour a curb on here and then later come and flap this copper over. Now, before that concrete gets formed, he's gonna put a piece of flashing down so that if that were to get any water, it won't get the subfloor wet. He'll put that concrete curb down, fold this over, and then again, Hydroban that as well. So then, if you can picture the shower later, it'll have those cement-based walls, you know, the hardy backer that's on there. It'll have a cement slope on top of this copper. And the copper is really the waterproofing at the very bottom layer, but the Hydroban that's connecting the walls to that cement, or pardon me, to that mortar bed is what's actually doing the drainage. I visited a job site with Brent Hull that had a lead-based flashing system, lead-based pan that was at least 100 years old that was getting ripped out. And when they were pulling that pan out, all the wood around it was totally dry. I was shocked that after 100 years, that shower totally dry. And they didn't have Hydroban or these other kind of fancy materials back then. So I gotta say, this is really impressive. Will I do this on my jobs? I don't know, maybe. I still do like some other systems, like the Schluter system, for instance. But I gotta say, this is really impressive. And it's really fun to come to a really old town like Boston that has, 200 years plus of construction details, that the plumber's like, oh yeah, I need a copper pan, I'll get it. So basically the plumber did all this work that you're seeing to this point for Howell. And this is their standard system. If I pan over here to this other, no pun intended, to this other shower and this other bathroom, same exact thing. Guys, super fun. I'll put a link in the description below to Howell Custom Homes. We shot some really interesting videos in this house. about the insulation system, the air tightness layer. Steve Basic designed this house. There's a lot of goodness over here. So go check out that other video too. I'll have a link to that below. But if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.